I also added in some of the spices that are in the cake, such as cinnamon, ginger, a little bit of cloves. So here we go. Just a little bit. I don't want to I think my frosting has hardened a little bit. I'll try not to get too big of a piece. There we go. Let me see, just enough of frosting. This is really good. You can taste all the nice warm spices, and just with the little drizzle of the frosting on top, it still gives a hint of those spices, a little bit of sweetness with the powdered sugar, and a taste of rusticness with just a little bit of the maple syrup. So I'll give you the recipe for the frosting online as well. So anyway, Hey, hi, I'm Amy Roloff. So welcome back to my little kitchen. Well, today what I'm going to make is a spice bundt cake. I really like bundt cakes because it's not like they're always easy, because you still got to do a lot of prep like you're actually making a cake, but you don't have two different pans. You can find bundt cakes or bundt cake pans in all of these fancy designs and everything. And that's one thing I forgot to prep is my bundt cake pan. So I'll show you that in a minute. I don't have really any of the fancy ones, but I do have kind of the basic one, which works for me. But I like bundt cakes because you can, they're easier to make in the sense that you don't have two cake pans, you don't have layers, you don't have all this frosting, and a lot of times you can just add powdered sugar to it or just a little glaze, and you can feed a lot of people with it, and it just really makes a nice dessert. So I thought I'd make this bundt cake ahead of time because tomorrow Chris and I are just gonna have a few friends over, and we're gonna have cards, and I'm gonna make dinner, which is gonna be chicken parmesan with pasta and probably like a Caesar salad or a green salad of some sort. And then we're gonna have bundt cake. And then we're gonna play cards and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to it because it's been a long time since we've seen a lot of friends, and we've all just been kind of hanging low, doing really nothing. And Chris and I get tested every week because of filming right now. And so we're still filming Little People. Oops, that was my oven telling me it's ready. We're still filming Little People Big World, and so we'll see where that goes. But thank you so much for watching. Chris right now is putting up a little TV in our exercise room, and hopefully that'll motivate us to be in there more often, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad I have a treadmill, but it takes every ounce of effort on my part to get on it, because I just need music blaring or a TV to watch, because you're just in this room. Your scenery doesn't change or anything. I'd rather walk 5 miles outdoors than walk 5 miles on a treadmill. So I'm so thankful for him to put the TV on the wall, and so I can watch a Netflix movie and all that other stuff. Anyway, that's what Chris is doing right now while I'm down in my kitchen. So let's get started. Let's make a bundt cake. I've got to go get an apron. I'll go get my pan, and we'll be all set to go. So tomorrow with my friends, I'm going to make chicken parmesan, pasta, a salad, and bundt cake. So join along with me. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I got my little apron, but I don't know if you can see this, but do you see my shirt? This is my love of Michigan. I bought this in Michigan a little bit ago, but it's all for my Michigan peeps. Anyway, this is my typical bundt pan. You know, it's kind of nice. But there are so many wonderful different designs of bundt pans that have deeper cresses or crease or whatever you want to call it, where when you drizzle the glaze or frosting or whatever you're doing, it really just goes over the hills of all these deep crevices and down, you know, in them. So it's really, really cool, but I'm still with my loyal basic Bundt can. Maybe that'll be a treat of mine, is to get a new Bundt cake. Get a new Bundt cake pan. That's kind of fun to use. Anyway, let me put on my apron. Oh yeah, I put my hair up in a bun or up in a little ponytail because my hair is getting longer. I'm getting it cut soon and I can't wait because it's straight. It's just all over the place. Anyway, let me see if I can tie this behind me. If my arms are, oops. Why is it suddenly I can't tie a knot behind me? Oh, there I go. Okay, good. Good job. So I haven't greased it yet, but I'll do that probably off camera. The one thing I would, definitely grease your Bundt can, grease your Bundt pan. And if you're going to use one of those spray things, because I've noticed that even when I do butter or one of those spray cans in here, do it just before you're going to put the batter in the pan. Because if you haven't noticed, sometimes when you spray it, it'll slowly drip down and then you've got like this little puddle here on the bottom, and I don't think that's good for cakes, Bundt cake or others. So usually what I do is I use Crisco or that type of shortening to grease my pan. And sometimes I have used flours, but sometimes flour is another way that it can kind of stick with the grease and the way the cake bakes. So that's a little iffiness. So I'm just gonna grease this pan with some shortening here. I'll do that while I'm done here. Anyway, let's get going. So first of all, I've got 3/4 cup of butter in here. I always forget a tool, little spatula here. So I got 3/4 cup of soft butter here. And I don't know, I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think my house is warm enough, because I think my butter is pretty stiff at room temperature. So I zap it in the microwave, maybe for like 10 seconds, just to give it that little more soft, or yeah, more soft, get it softer. Anyway, so 3/4 cup of butter, and let's cream that a little bit, and then we'll add our sugars. I have 1 cup of white sugar here, and then 1 cup of brown sugar, brown packed sugar. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, I still think the butter is hard, because what I didn't want to do is soften it so much in the microwave where it turned liquefied, because that's not going to help. You know, the thing I think I'm going to do too is maybe get myself a glass bowl for my mixer here, because I don't know, a metal bowl, I find that it stays kind of cool. Because what I'm worried about right now is I hope the butter is soft enough where the eggs are at room temperature. And what I did here, because I often forget to take enough eggs out, is that I put them in warm water. Don't do it really hot, but warm water, just to get them down to room temperature. So hopefully we won't have scrambled eggs. Okay, I'm gonna slowly add in the sugar. Put it on a little bit higher speed. This will take anywhere from like about 3 minutes to cream your butter. So we'll just wait and voila, let the machine do it. Tell you the truth, I don't know why my mixer makes that much noise. I think there's something wrong. I'm bummed because this is kind of a new mixer. I'm gonna scrape the bowl and just make sure the sugar and the butters are really getting creamy. Yeah, I definitely think this bowl, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I try to be a baker. That's why I don't get too fancy on my baking, because I'd love to go to baking school. Get a real idea of, you know, why flour, egg, and oil, and butter. And so I do basic stuff. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there, and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know, and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. So I slowed down my mixer a little bit because I'm going to add the eggs. Add the eggs one at a time, just so that each egg gets, you know, incorporated in with the butter sugar mixture. And you know what? Now that I do this, I almost think I should crack it in a bowl first. Because why is that? Believe me, people, often I got shells in here. There we go. Then once I get them all, once I get each egg incorporated, after all of them are in there, I will turn it up just a little bit. I remember doing this when I was on the farm, because sometimes when I cracked an egg, let me just tell you this, people, it wasn't pretty. And I was so glad that I did it individually. You see, I got a cracked little shell in there. If I had another person helping me out, you'd be able to see it because I wasn't lying. There we go. Just gonna turn it up just a little bit so that it gets fluffy again too. And while this is going, I have 3 cups of flour here. What was this? This was nothing. Or was it? Oh, you know what, you guys? Look at what happened. All the sugar didn't come out of here. I wasn't paying attention. I'm just gonna redo that, or put the rest of it in. My bowl was still wet. I don't know. Oh dear. Hopefully that will work. Okay, I have about 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. About a tablespoon, let me see here. What did I write down? Oh yeah, sorry about that. I have 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of ginger, no, 2 teaspoons of ginger, about 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, because that to me is powerful, and I grated a nutmeg to make about 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Is that all I have in here? And if you want, I did a dash of cardamom. So I'm going to incorporate that in with the flour, along with a tablespoon of baking powder. If I don't get it right here, you know what, guys? Read the recipe, but I think this is 2 teaspoons of baking powder. No tablespoon, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm gonna have about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Did I get everything? I tell you, it is so crowded here. I'm really hoping, I got everything. And we're just gonna mix in the spices. I'm gonna turn that off for a minute. We're gonna mix in all of those lovely ingredients in with the flour. Oh, I tell you, spice cake, I love it. I think this is Jacob, my youngest son's favorite cake was spice cake. I think Molly's, was it carrot cake? They generally liked anything, the yellow cake, white chocolate cake. But I think Jacob always asked for spice cake. And you know, if you wanted to add a few raisins in here and do that, but I don't know, sometimes I just like spice cake. You can really play around with the glaze or the frosting that you put on it. Okay, I think I've got that all mixed in. I hope it's not mixed up. Okay, I have buttermilk here. I have 3/4 cup of buttermilk. I'm gonna get a fork. Just stir that around. You know, I should really have buttermilk in my refrigerator. I don't know, sometimes I use it a lot, sometimes I don't, because it'd probably save me on the cost of lemons. But I use lemon in so much, so I always have a lemon around. But I did 3/4 cup of buttermilk and about a tablespoon or more, probably, of lemon juice. I squeezed a fresh lemon. A lemon that half of it I used, so I just used the rest of it in here. And then so I'm gonna add, just stir that around, add this 1/4 cup of canola oil. I generally use canola oil for baking. I'm not as familiar with olive oil, so I'm not sure if you use canola oil, can you automatically just go to olive oil? I have to do a little more research on that. So we're just gonna add that oil, and then we're just gonna give a little splash of vanilla. And if you want to be exact, it's probably about a half a teaspoon. But I just add it in there. So what we're going to do here is alternate between flour and the buttermilk mixture. I'm so nervous I forgot something here. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure this is all off the... Okay, I think this is good. And you just want to go gentle here until it's incorporated. Don't overbeat it, because you just won't get a nice rise out of the cake. And it could be tough. Just make sure the bottom is... Oh man, it smells so good. All those nice warm spices. Tell you the truth, I think spice cake, anything pumpkin, all year long. I mean, I just love it. But of course we have a tendency to lighten up our desserts once spring and summer comes around. Okay, I think that's good. I do it on low because I don't want flour to go all over the place. So I'm gonna do a couple of spoonful of flour in here. A little bit of buttermilk. Wait till it incorporates just a little bit. More flour. Whoa! Don't get it caught in the beater. I'm going to use this little spatula just to get the sides down. You want to make sure everything gets incorporated. Okay. There we go. What did I do? Oh, I think I need some more of this. I tell you, I'm not a fan. Mixer, your motor doesn't sound right to me, and I have not had you very long. Then we're going to add the remainder of the buttermilk. And I'm going to add the rest of the flour. I should have probably had my shield on. That would have helped, huh? Here we go. We're almost done. I tell you, I almost want a piece of cake after I make it, before everyone comes over tomorrow, but patience. It's probably why I'm not a good baker, because I don't have the patience for it. I'm gonna scrape it down just to make sure some of the stuff that got stuck on the side really gets incorporated into the cake. Scrape off my okay. Just one little round again. Okay, I think that's good. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and grease my pan. Okay, I greased my pan. There you go. So we're gonna pour the batter in right now. And then I think I forgot to tell you guys, I preheated my oven for 350. I mean, 350 I think is a typical oven temperature for most cakes. Maybe 375, but at least the cakes that I do, 350 seems like the norm. But because this is such a deep pan, is why obviously it needs to cook longer than your typical layered cake pans. So we're gonna kind of originally just I'm just gonna scoot this around a little bit so I can, majority of the cake get layered evenly. Then I'm gonna scrape it. Because you definitely don't want to leave any lusciousness inside the mixing bowl. I gotta get a better grip on this. Okay, almost done. Then I have to okay. Then I'm just gonna spread it, try and spread it evenly with this spatula that I have here. There we go. So this is, I think I'm gonna do a lot with the glaze, the frosting on top. We might add some really minced, not minced, but very fine chopped pecan with a little brown sugar, butter. I might even add a little bit of coffee to it. Ooh. I'm just gonna bang it. And the reason you do that is because you want to settle the cake just a little bit and pop out some of those air bubbles. Okay, look at that. We got spiced Bundt cake happening. I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees. It should stay in there anywhere from 50 to maybe 60 minutes. If you want, depending on your oven, check it at 45 minutes. Minimally 50. And then, because it might be done, but you might need an extra 5 minutes or so. Stick a knife or a long toothpick in here, and if it comes out clean, you're done. Anyway, you can check out this recipe and all of the other recipes at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or my YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. I'd love to see your comments or anything. Follow me on social media, and I do my best to try and answer questions that y'all may have or whatever. So anyway, Bundt cake, 350 degrees. I'm going to check it at 50 minutes. And I'll see you back here in an hour, because in that hour, I'm making Chris and I some dinner. We're gonna have a little bit of salmon. I think I might put it over polenta, and we're gonna have a little green salad. Okay, hi you guys. Amy, back in my kitchen. It's the next morning because by the time I got the cake out of the pan and everything, it was late. So anyway, I wanna finish this off for you. This is spiced Bundt cake. As I mentioned before, it's one of my son's favorite, Jacob. I love it. And I just don't make this during the fall season. I make it any time of the year because it's a good cake. It's a very simple and basic cake, but anyway, now it's time for the frosting. There's multiple things that you could do with this. You could put a light caramel sauce over it, or you could do a cream cheese, like I don't want to say running frosting, but something that you can drizzle over here and watch it fall over the bundt cake. That's what makes bundt cake so unique. So I just made a simple little frosting here with powdered sugar, about a cup of powdered sugar, maybe a tablespoon of heavy cream, but I also used pure maple syrup in this as well, just to continue with that rustic, you know, flavoring and the warm spices. I also added in some of the spices that are in the cake, such as cinnamon, ginger, a little bit of cloves. So here we go. I'm just gonna start off with just kind of dribbling it on top, and then you can just kind of watch it slowly fall down the cake. Of course, if you want it more runnier, you don't have to add in as much cream or maple syrup. And tell you the truth, what I'm debating on right now is whether I want to top this with, I'm not going to say minced, but finely chopped pecans. Because I'm not sure if everyone likes them. I love them. So tell you the truth, what I may do is just toast them up, chop them up, and then I'm going to lightly toast them. You see it fall over? Oh yeah, you do, don't you? Isn't that cool? I love bundt cakes. This is so fun. And it's so much, you know, it's just a little bit easier than a regular cake if that's not what you want to do for whatever you're doing. So I've got a few friends coming over. Well, Chris and I have a few friends coming over. And you can keep doing this how thick, whatever thick you want it. Because you want a little bit of the cake to still show. Just laid it on the top. There we go. Anyway, Chris and I are having a few friends over. I'm making dinner. We're gonna play a little bit of cards. And this is gonna be our dessert. So this is bundt cake, spiced bundt cake. So check out this recipe and all of the other recipes over at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or my YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. And I'd really appreciate it if you follow me. So I might go ahead and top this with toasted pecans. That will probably be in video or photo form. So anyway, enjoy. So hi, I've decided that I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle on a little bit of toasted pecans because I think that'll be really, just a little bit. I don't wanna I think my frosting has hardened a little bit. Just may want to press it down just a little bit. Yeah, that's enough. Just enough to make it pretty. Can you see that? So yeah. Anyway, here you go. This is spiced bundt cake. You can find this recipe and all of the others at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or on my YouTube channel, amyroloffslittlekitchen.com. And I'd love it if you followed me on social media too. So enjoy. I hope you make it. And I got to get ready for my dinner party. Ugh. I hope I'm not behind. Hey, well, one thing I forgot to do is, you know what? I need to taste this cake before I serve it to everyone. So I'm going to do that. I know it might look kind of weird, but I'll have a piece of cake out of it before I serve anyone. But I think I need to do that so that I can make sure that it tastes well, that it tastes delicious. It's superb. I'll try not to get too big of a piece. There we go. Okay. Gotta get a fork over here. So yeah, let me see, just enough of frosting This is really good. You can taste all the nice warm spices, and just with the little drizzle of the frosting on top, it still gives a hint of those spices, a little bit of sweetness with the powdered sugar, and a taste of rusticness with just a little bit of the maple syrup. So I'll give you the recipe for the frosting online as well. So anyway, I love it. I'm gonna finish eating this up. It'll get me motivated to work quickly before all my friends arrive. It's just a couple of them. Anyway, great spice Bundt cake. Follow me on Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. You'll find this recipe and all the others. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep eating